this morning, all prepare to host the Attorney General Jubilee House media briefing. No, the Court of Appeal delivered a judgment on Sedinam Tamakloe. Mijini said Ote and Sana most starting a press conference. No, when news broke, no, how did you receive it? Net was Ote is court no acquitted discharged no.
The position of government on Asem was expressed by the Attorney General in court. Indeed, many of the responses have been misdirected. You know what? You see, one of the things is you see on my women, and it's a betrayal in the analysis of issues that come. If the Ninka say, there's no basis, absolutely none, not one, a zero basis to blame government for anything that the appeals court has done. But my sister, I'm for condemning government. But let me repeat, there's no basis for that.
Really?
What is the basis for accusing government, Obi? If an appeals court makes a ruling, how do you blame government? You are the trained lawyer, can't you? No, Obi, you tell me.
No, sir. On the things that happen behind the scenes, that people may know.
What things have happened, Obi? What things have happened?
I'm not saying something has happened behind the scenes. I'm saying if something happens behind the scenes that people will not know.
No, Obi, so catch me. What has happened behind the scenes? Say it publicly. What has happened behind the scenes? And then you see behind the scenes.
What is public now is that the Court of Appeal has ruled, acquitting and discharging.
So who ruled? Who ruled?
The Court of Appeal.
So who answers for the Court of Appeal's ruling?
The judiciary, of course.
So what is the basis for attacking government? So, you see, we must avoid emotive responses. Facts for why? You avoid emotive responses. Why? Obi, another question. Was it not the judiciary of Ghana, represented by the High Court, that sentenced
Sedinam? Yes.
How many years are sentence? No. Why the cast Akufo are sentenced Sedinam? And as MPP are buying a sentence Sedinam. So how is it that when the High Court, the same judiciary, a committee will be a Asem Papa, but the same judiciary can say Yeja will be a Asem Boni? How do we reconcile these two positions? The point is that in 2024, I think April,
yes,
High Court.
One cry as my charitable, honestly. Kwame Nkrumah, any Mahama. And look at this. I wanted to end, but look at this thing. Nkrumah had democratically elected president watching Papa Kwame Nkrumah, any Mahama. And look at this. I wanted to end, but look at this thing. Nkrumah had parliament similar to what Yemen is having now. Between, I think, 1958 elections, assembly elections, lawyer may remember, it could see 60. Within the 2 years, now Nkrumah to me, Ajomana free, Abrofunansem, Ajie free, Nananomunsem, Ajie free, Biasamafa. He had become
declared a one-party state.
A one-party state, a lifetime president with no deputy, no vice, no. What's Nkrumah vice president there? I already said in OC and so on. Nkrumah had no succession plan. Rawlings was a dictator. Why? He could kill you without excuse. Nkrumah was not a police or soldier, but he also could kill without any explanation. He arrested a lot of people when we are on fire. JB Danko of all people died in Nkrumah's prison. What I say? Yet sorry in 1961 July. Then Nkrumah said, I feel a Pama Bruce him and say 1 year head of state or my movie. 1 year head of state was a mere. 1 year head of government was a mere. What a pity was a minibi. What say as a 1966 Nkrumah kono near to me to about ABE MP, ABU by any prime minister, any president. So Nkrumah virtually had become something that he was trying to prevent. What's your money, a monarchy? So I has a Jagana, Manako de Econa, where yet the Akunaba trust and taking if you also one penny, America, how the America say monarchy bieno, or one of the first Protestant nation, they are the Intino, their own what declare man republic or more pahinsem. The cat Otis or maybe I have 10 republic. it means that before then no man or hini bi ana emperor bi na hweso timemfo na tumi ajeje o man na free emperor and say declare a republic, meaning say this time they say we are besiruwa according to man chrono mra no say besiruwa from 30 and now ye 40 41 you can become president here and no e betimi do man no ene aban no nyina hye wonsa. Me, I don't have much to praise President Mahama for, because in the last 2.5 years as you come in there, apart from so watching opponents, ninko for more disika Ghana buying sika.
Ahai Uncle 101. Yedi ababi shim to abaswa misremo na watcha about for say about life intino almost de emra most start kama but more munya notification no de bia mo na ya na mo ye problem munya na mo atena so munya no atena so ono anso ba be send a message e wo phone so and then go to na send ye wo ma memra me de mi beje mini anaza mi beje message intino aba ha Uncle 101 ye chi obi bia yet on your head, ye coso, and then no yate de, intino, yet Obibia was the Suman, Kingsley, and new staff, Theresa Cote, yet Obibia or Shemi Bia, the wine I been so be like, the wine I just been so obese, the wine I just obey commenting so yet who are also commenting so yet but on a serious note, no. Ya ban say na ya na ma try na ma engage mo ho platform near the so that ebema ye rich no I improve. Okay, here that say open so ya at your own free will obetimi open so follow channel this one obetimi follow your YouTube no so Facebook and all the other platforms no obetimi dey edi echi e wo sa kwan so nti e do bibia say na enkomo bi koso Ghana, yes, the ipso facto yeah the betu mu the amount enkomo bi koso Ghana had Alhaji Sika, is it Alhaji Sika? Yes, Alhaji Sika, yeah, that say Dora Akagani, yes, yeah, so and Atman Samuel Samani Happy Beve Danso. Well, yes, keep your comments coming. I think saying that I wasn't to me make it time now. You ready a bit more comments, kakra. But you bear later on. Yen Shasia. I think Komobi say the chairman won't to me aqua kotum. The chairman won't to me aqua kotum. Intino, it's like certain narrative be because of Ghana. I am not the government spokesperson. Government spokesperson, Felix Ofosu Kwachi, or Felix Kwachi Fosu, or Ofosu Kwachi Felix, or Fosu Felix Kwachi, whichever will be a very piano, ding is him. Only Obi a dinkobi. Now, in the course of the conversation, Oma Obi, some part of the conversation, now as Obi a look stupid. And this is how some of the people in the country are going to take and Simbia air cost for Ghana. Now, Sedinam Tamakloe issue now by me who said me that. Now I didn't want to come live, but me who say a man for person or narrative be true. And we have indicated on this platform quite a number of times, we don't claim to be the repository, the depository of all wisdom and knowledge, but what we do here, we lay the facts bare so you see clearly. And until I'm saying that if so factus no ever devoid of any kind of political fiascos, any kind of guile. No, we will not catch you with political guile like trickery. Yes, sir. What I say, but you didn't say me to now the wife be akoso. Ekufu do be di ade. Obedi ade no. Or say maslock woman be we real mind sika. Me obi real mind sika dia. there's no way say what's here there. Ya croak nipa no. Enti Maslow Sedinam Tamakloe. Since 2017, I'm about power. Enfan say the 2017 natural. 2018, when to me and convictino. 2019, one convictino. Mobeka said the wheel of why grinds slowly. Yatias here. But then at my own to me within this short period, what me call yet me din Asem amaneko. You see, high profile cases like political cases, say so we are by now saying in fact or evidence to prosecute people are yenentem. Now here I'm not here to speak for the government. It is the government's sole responsibility through Felisupozu Kwache to let the general public know what is going on. But yenye critical analysis be waha. Si say narrative be ba beto ha ba be say because of say the time to me akwa akotumunti no. Say obi wo court case be now or court appeal, now appeals court overturning the ruling of maybe the high court or whatever. Now, back where say because of Tema Untmintino, any price will be the Asem court appeal and also really. That is how ye cano and ye can say it's not be a Tema Untmi say or court appeal, a be a not Tema Untmi aqua winning the case, our appeals court, and no sanko for the Obedia to Moana. You see, sometimes it's like we have been fully blinded, and the way we have polarized our court system, thinking say because of Temaun Twintino, we should denigrate any rulings are ever. Now, when we refuse to say High Court, Supreme Court, and all those courts now, a kufuadu no fee say me catch them maybe say. A year kufuadu against or party court no with or only favorite lawyers and as a judges are only very careful because the human mind na nkasano obi no obetimi reading ni pa adua kosi awiye and until a lot of the time we are disappointed in your best friend when him say what can say be your best friend say ni kwan say enka a move out of certain parameters be. But between the two of you, Asem net me akọ baby amwakọ titibusa say eye den asem a wo ka che wadamfo sa wadamfo no so nko anani enim sa wasuma asem wi enso akote say a third person, not just a third person, a fourth person, even fifth, sixth to the 100th person discuss about say just say the person you so much relying on today you're very careful because etna sa kwa na betumi asesa na adwen e behave say nye orokro na ye wadamfo but ekufado paki he nipa no ope wa ma ne judge obemo apaki uba okodru ho no mo a na case wi beto nanimu a na ohwe case wi case wi pad there no ma memfa favoritism a ye dia favor me amama ba court ase ntu nchen na memfa de me kosua no school ankasa ede me nyansa otwe de ampon de ma me no memfa ni dwuma e ba ne sa na se wo appointing officer no the purpose are they appointing the pana defeated and those who rally behind a kufuadu no yes and we catch them and now ye judge be now say Mahama so na ebe appointed wa intino like we end this intino ye lawyer be or and ye judge be or court na ye kwa dia say me ye I am telling you say nipa na wo appointed no send ya wokoto abama politician na enye nneoma wo ka che wo nyina na oye no saa so na judge na wo appointed no enye send ya wo pese o judge the cases na obeye de ama wo ye fe no nto ho. But me say establish you say Ghana dede aba ye say Sedinam Tamakloe akwa konya judgment say asema ya de tone so no okoko sa hwe mu no yesi oni case me kind judgment ni ba bi no except kakra nche say ye de asem tone so say was sign contract bi contract ni so no omode bonu kwadu no contract no eteki the sign in 2018 by 2018 or say 2017 na ono maslog CEO we free ho enti sa issue bi say no okoya na se kohwehwem na evidence but ebeda abontin say asem a wodi bonu kwadu kura no the sign ho papers no sign ye no na ono we free office ho enti ye den na me responsible for ade a mini free ho ansa na ABC machi tema won to be yache no me mani age se yache no wadi nsemfo but ade atene e de court na se court e ka se tema won to me ye gyan na me nkobo mahama sobo eye ya nuanom ye papa no ye wofanom na omote court wo no e se be the evidence that womanim no e wo se gyan tema won to me e wo se gyan no but don't let us behave as if say because tema won to me belonging to a political party bi yache no e na ko hyemu nti no say NDC ni edna Asem court na appeals court overturning any ruling biana, then it should be a burden, a load on NDC. What kind of logic? You see, Chale Muma already Yesu. Obviously, that you are not making sense. What now making sense, no? All right. Nanka was setting up a camera because Facebook and Jiska, YouTube and Jiska. So then you go make that your sense there. Me busa question Sedinam Tamakloe wa bo mine chrono. Oba mine chrono and yamina me coaching na coaching no court system no any jail no. The same court na nkasa asaba say asem no a odiko no. And say bebre yemfa court ma court overturning obi o ha nikunu awu. Yes on the japade ne dia. Eno age japade nyina abusuanfo se da bi asase na ewum no na ye abusuanfo dia. First judgment no awini. Second judgment a call appeals court akwa kolusu. Then they call Supreme Court. No asa akwa kolusu. There na abeye. And all Tiasi say I'm not making sense. And so because of Sedinam Tamakloe, we should abolish the appeal court system na omo appointed a man for court na appeals court on na Akufo-Addo nka ho. Say Akufo-Addo kan ho. Judges now unanimous and conform no omuti Supreme Court no. You these people NPP for kwasiafo ni bi. Enyo mo na those days no mo catch say if you like go to court. And then the court at the same court na mo direct a man for so mo nko. And then you court one no dia. Na court ma verdict dia. Mo say eno de enye court na ma verdict na mo no. E ya ban bi na influence. And no na Felix Ebusa obi say who obi who kase maybe behind the scenes also ye lawyer na chese who obi no what dia to say what Ghana na moye behind of this behind the scenes a friend say legal system intino the onim lawyers no the onim judges the onim registrar no omo na ye di asem to favor fantastic who obi who no establish sa and intina mo obi abeta say I'm not making sense, no, and I will not make any such of sense to such an individual because we're clad in our journal, with politics. Ya tini nipa kwa kotum, ena abayan otiso a former CEO ye joining tino na biene say yen this abayan na join of granted. Na say me so conclude say any Sedinam Tamakloe ni so no na ye tina tum no. Now you're politically motivated. In there was a banner for also because a banner and to me and for the equation antum. A banner to me and for Dr. Puni antum. A banner to me and for Atofos antum. When to me and for Bank of Ghana and Governor Siama antum. And yet, young compare the soft spot. Yet Sedinam Tamakloe near fanning tum entre amount for say yet Timia fight corruption. Sanko for you know Monteo. And a man for koye nyamra se Kumase High Court. A pamo jaja na onyem in the name of say a Delta Force and a dear Akufo-Addo power. Who said Delta Force ni baako eko jail. I am Asem, and indeed Bahama was right by telling us that we all have short memories. I don't sit here for what say what dream no the old person memenka and me ba catch you. And when who be say you have lost your credibility. Me better me credibility amount. I'm explaining things to you, say, because of Sedinam Tamakloe, all of a sudden, appeals court, a bogus, yamontumu. Enti mi busa say, won't to me so call na appeals court, echo say, the first case I did, you knew to me, not yet 10, and no bad the catch and say, go to a credible. Sometimes I need to who send ya music. I am who send ya music. Enti Sedinam Tamakloe NDC it will need right to go to court for and answer appeals court say adia ye de adi no and me friend it yati wontumi atumiti no ekwan boni bia so and this is the reason tia so nipa betena aban mu na say otro to the general public say I say otimi manipulate court system no a eye dangerous no eye dangerous na ye kan Kufuor time no na ye wa ban tina wonte ase some na mo kase tables ne betene and then the table not turning. And there, let me tell you, political party a friend, my for so many years, and I media studied the thinking of NPP on. NPP 4 year or mindset for to the extent to say how these people have engineered certain things. You have no idea. You guys have no idea. The NPP 4 you guys, you have no scintilla. Clue say. Political party near friend NPP no. Nim omo. Se nim omo. And NDC for no ankasa omo ni NPP for no. Eye contest ewo Ghana. Politics no. They don't know NPP. Se komu nim no anka jeji ensan be gina platform so en kan kire omo say enkofo omu nhwe omu yi. Nim omo papa. And the Kufuor Sedinam Tamakloe case no. One of those many cases you have no clue or whatsoever. You have no clue. Yeah, man, for chance behold, you have the liberty to write it. And I'm hoping and praying, say, won't to me call court, say, or call for appeal. Na tene. Mubese hundi nkwasiafo na amoni omochi okrumu no ombeka. And this is what NPP for ye. And until 2024, they hurriedly tried the woman in absentia. Ubi ano aje permit say or yare or kwa kwhwe no ho yare aba yenya ne fast emfam pubi bibi nche Ghana for se nipa no edisika Maslow kono no a organization benko a why it should take almost 8 years and san what me are convicted nipa won to me NDC phones were doing kwasasem no within 1.5 years and no matter try no and the last time I catch you Korea former president Ofri Akunya no so within 1 year o ma try it na kwa kwashim eni se wote abonte na wo yedede and na wuntumi ye galam say and na wuntumi say sama boy and na wo ye na se wo betena ho na de 4 years and na ekwo sanse no na wote e kire na wo yedede no na wo yedede be edede. And sa 2024 no according to Attorney General 2024 na a convicted woman no sa 2024 no na woman sa a serve for a friend is saying or serve for appeal and edidi mo na afi no abenya the judgment. You can have issues with the judgment because court case be a bebe wiase no e be favor be in favor bi and say tema untumi die no e kotia NPP no omo yedede e koya ama NDC government and I say NDC this administration no omo ni aba to say they all fight corruption no and so boost no. So I'm not here to tell you say bibi ya na say bibi nye, but the way oko internet so people do not want to put emotions aside na omo analyzing issue no say appeals court no or mandate say ye di asem to obi so na ebu kumfo ebu no ho anwan ye ne dey a nipa no otumi say obasa bedi ntremu foforo na yes na appeals court no ye di asem ko ho a yetimi overturn a ruling from the high court na yes and na ye di asem no ko appeals court so na ye di ne overturn a is there any other avenue I betumi di asem na ko yes where the Supreme Court Attorney General say Oma file say enko Supreme Court. Enko Supreme Court. Na Supreme Court kujai Sedinam Tamakloe. And what has that thing got to do with John Mahama and answer the NDC party? Ekufuado edi ni nsem hu nyina fiwa okono. At the end of the day, no say court system no and a court dynasty ho. And a court dynasty ho. Inti NPP free so na court gu ye o Ghana ho. Chale mama yang dream. I don't care your stupid mark. And you won't have it now catch him say be credible. Because who you credible and can you understand say Sedinam Tamakloe had the right to also champion and Adibi Adina film. Likewise, any other prisoner, be a one sawam or Kukumase or Ankafo or Winiba or Fomina. All the prisons across Ghana, day in, day out, people are out appealing their cases. Yet you'll be a question, body when to me and appealing the case, or question, or being so you need to ask where we will be at the pa, but what Timmy court, and the evidence are cause, and you only we are there no, or court appealing, your giant or court. Onu the other now blaming it on Ekufuado or Mahama or NPP and answer NDC. Say if you did tell my own to be true, no, now what you want air can say and you're politically motivated. Now your court na in a Juma. Now and then was one unipan over the casse. Say you die Sedinam Tamakloe dia. And you're politically motivated because NDC nina ejai the yonko NDC. Namunti wana NDC ni na de Abuga Pele Koshe prison. Ye ka omo boa NDC party na. Tamakloe no, Sedinam Tamakloe, any Abuga Pele. Any nkofo no ya adwuma wo why ye no youth employment one why omo ka a friend saying Abuga Pele ho e de ko prison no. When maybe mo pedigree or NDC party, but I'm co prison. Any Akufo-Addo never ma Abuga Pele pardon. Any Akufo-Addo and never ma Akufo, Abuga Pele pardon. Do what ya? Who can credibility once? Just because who are dream no. Se nipa no aye boni o, onye boni o, wo judgment na person em fama nipa no. Any what about I'm sorry to tell you that. Huh? The same thing oh. Omo fuck Richard Jackman na yes smart because no aye oye security person that why soldier leader. And the soldier for no omo all the tricks no Sedinam Tamakloe no ebi oni security background bia anti no ekwan na ye den be fa so na omo de ne fa so no on say Richard Jackman ehun say bebia odame de pese ode ne fa and no started say all recording nyoma bia ekoso enti afi no na bogo fredame say akwa we see no se me na ndilim ra no na me ma adwe say me the political victimization vendetta bi na na be so say me de be china tumudia me nim the next videos and audios akwa de be ba bonte. Let's allow him. Richard Jackman na yes smart cause one yes smarter and can go for with for kwan boni bia so e de chini to about ambulances or other ya other ambulance most specification na mo ye yen in conform say okay sir ye de musika ebremo most there be changing na ye nyi sika no na ye betemu atum maton ade maton phone yama o se phone no camera no na e wo say eye bia 90 hwan e buy no o hwe no o si endu 90 na so enyoma be kika ho anan ke be me na du 90 no yakra e wo se kan ba o si chinchin on ya okay sa o mpe a o de fa ye phone mami o sika e wo me ho no me sa de o sika e de e be ma o si chinchin na time o de Asem ni ko police station say police for meche me e na de come police say me cheche na police okay say o se wo mpe na say o si sika ya available a di o sika o si chinchin a ade na police ni no enti akwa ne ma hu say wa mafia. Did we set up the core system to mafia people or to look for the truth or try to solve issues amicably, between and among people? Because you can say Mahama any NDC for ya kronfo ya ba eko 8 years Akufo-Addo free akonya so inti enye obi anche no any major arrest bi na say bibia course no na Mahama ba no a start sa process no Abuga Pele and ne nkofo ni nyina no a set up sa system no a ono ankasa na Abuga Pele ankasa no o form o aboate NDC party no ya te na to wan bio na NDC wan bio no ko eboni wo party ni mu a ye ntini to NPP ni busamo NPP ni a oka ho ma ye te NPP won si achi obi atum Kofoche Malam Isa tumu because of free PNC ni be wura NPP of free PNC Reku Brobe ni nkofo a omo ka ho ayete NPP party Reku Brobe boni ni krono odi Ghana at 50 enyinachi no ye jan na onenam wiase onenam ho se Sedinam wa disika and say Attorney General Minister of Justice Dominic Ahini also on kind documents no name no whatever be the case no why instruct say yemfa maame ne a friend say yenye stay of execution she say Asem na appeals court no dia ba no ono the Supreme Court say until say Supreme Court be decided on the matter no the first ruling na High Court no man no ejinam, but appeals court ni no enye dey enyinam. And it's a Supreme Court edges a stay of execution in Tumwa. The woman will still be serving the jail sentence, no? Once the Supreme Court goes through the whole appeals court judgment and friends say we say no case, no. And son omo the verdict bab on tia yehu. Na moti ho and mama NPP for we hijack it. Yeah? Me say NDC for money very careful. Money mo fans now, money very careful because the party NPP, you guys don't understand them. You don't know how they operate. Almost that's set traps. And their mama say muntum. Mama ni ana hoso abubetutum. Ebini Sedinam Tamakloe. Omunim say they didn't have any because you see, Ghana work krani ko kai case ni keke. Appeals, court, Asem all can say. Prosecutors, in a friend say, case or damn money, gun a year ye hold you against you, man. Yentimin defend Asem ye. Now, won't mean for full evidence beyond all reasonable doubt, Emma. Naso no so could yes, the man, the lawyers are lawyers, no so sweat your mocha. Into almost one babu botokro atunu. Ombabu botokro di atunu.
And in the course of the trial, she sought permission to travel abroad for this morning. The Court of Appeal issued a decision unanimously acquitting and discharging Sedinam Tamakloe, who was convicted of various offenses in absentia because, she was standing trial, and in the course of the trial, she sought permission to travel abroad for medical reasons and then remain in the United States for the rest of the trial. The trial court convicted her of the offenses charged, and then an appeal was filed by her lawyers in May 2024. I want this to be made abundantly clear that it was my predecessor who filed the appeal. However, coming into office, I reviewed what was filed, and I directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file opposing the appeal, because we believe that the High Court judgment had merit. Now, with this judgment, I've also directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file a notice of appeal and apply for stay of execution, meaning that if the stay is granted, the status quo will prevail until such a time that the Supreme Court has had time to review the appeal and then made a determination. So that is all that I can say for now. I have a soft copy of the judgment. I'm yet to peruse it and then come to a firm conclusion as to what will be our grounds of appeal. But I want to emphasize that I believe that the judgment of the High Court had merit, and that the United States District Court that extradited her to Ghana had a basis for making a determination that she was the proper subject for extradition.
This is what is coming from the Attorney General. Entiensheno, no Attorney General also read judgments, no, and because of platforms he said they won't to me case nearby, Onipa that's an read case, won't to me and the cocoa jina box, and no codia dancing and no inconsistency abemu. And ya bezi on one casanica sasun ye dia jelino. Nipa ye friend NPP ni, nipa onu claim say or ye floating voter, nipa onu claim say, onu die Ghana honu obi antimi chichiro man no jese kwa me bidi akon chada ya beje ne dan free nsem onu kwa ne nim nyansa obetimi dia chichiro man Ghana eni saa nkofo no adwen bi say woman anyansam no onko ready judgment and so ba be pass comment onim the basis kranti a yede ache Sedinam Tamakloe waye se nkofo no a yede miracles ko she yoko ye busa say de ntina ba ha se ya o se ba be chi rimonacha ade tinya ye de pepper spray egu nani a ne yasa de camera kokosi nani mu a asema ono be kan say ono de no wada ene be nyane ne say omo nipa ba ko awu nti no on sorry and a mother of 4 kids or sorry ye ene ye de pepper spray kogu nani and a lot of you are more hweme ne wa ha say no ebi mu sa na motie and the people are on the internet putting pepper spray literally in your eyes. Moya mo adwe say yempe enko ridi de ekoso de bia no enkoto meko enkokan na omeka nkyerɛw eni sɛ enkoto kokan na obeka kyerɛw na ode ono no ba bi ofili e de semu de kan kyerɛw de ana wani abre ade ne so wa ha fa wo phone neko kan onko kan wo be kan kyerɛ na no ano abetena be ka kyerɛ so you are not credible ono no ye credible no so on fa phone nkan we or see entity my papa and famano or see rule of law enfantra yes say me say me they play equalization game say because of say NDC a friend saying a amount for feel say NDC for na achi chema untumi atumunti no na nka baba say because of say Sedinam Tamakloe no or ye an appointee under Mahama first term 2014 abesi 2016 no enti no ya chi untumi atum ene ye jai Sedinam Tamakloe enti no memfa kwan bia so na menka say ade enti na ye jai Sedinam Tamakloe Mahama ne jai na say court na ne jai no the same court no a e ka chen say ye nti ntum no the same court na ene esa ka che ye say ye nyan no ade na court ni ka say ye nti no a mo try in absence abstention ni de manya issue with it ale me say NDC mo communicators no mo wa adwuma ye ankasa because if you don't know and going into 2024 now enquire Mahama say also contest no na a different person ever no these people the intel are some of us yenya no the kind of propaganda omudi ba do gum no because one ni obe succeed Mahama no okay onye Mahama obetimi ride on Mahama achievements so but onye Mahama and a lot of people can say ono de ehun na memo da nti one you make treating say an ordinary person be ahead oba and you guys must be very careful and yes sir what you na ma frɛ akoko se alolo because NPP will kickstart omotete atem ano akwantempo no omofa so a omodi ase o my Ghana besi nne no you go back to that track the comedy ye be fast okrum no adwebe bom I don't play equalization game. I do logical reasoning. Semuma ye nyina accept say by hook or by crook. Sedinam wakwa appeals court. And a court no a clear no a and a yentia said ya. Say won to me so call appeals court. Na ni ye na appeals court ni ko clear na obi anye din. Na mehwe journalist bi oba na say blogger bi oba betra catch say some catch them say politician dey oye boni a ye be fa kwan bia so ne agyan no go to Nsawam. There are a lot of people who are omunye politically highly person and individuals omunya case no within 2 weeks 3 weeks 3 months or co appeal no ya sa over 10 ebi mu kra omukum nipa but omutimi ko kan omasem abi agyan omo. Na whole journalist no afre Felix Opozu Kwache Yes, said Sedinam Tamakloe only prisons or and I felt Busan say as a government spokesperson, no, me may then who nipa wo prison in prison. I say Sedinam Tamakloe ni the a high profile case. And also Busan say so how many high profile cases now cost for Ghana as a government spokesperson or Namoa? The human say or Nam Ghana prisons. Now, we are journalists now. Why don't you go to the Sawam? And now, baby, I see this Sedinam Tamakloe, of course, on 70 terms. Why don't you go there as a journalist and then ask for permission? Say, oh, Baba, say to tell to the public, say, yeah, the nipa ABCD, Ababatum. Wo, ain't it say, oh, Fred, politician or phones, and I am passing Sedinam Tamakloe no on co-jailer. And now, Ukraina, oh, ma, heads up, say, Chalibunya fast na mama obano mon kope room bi manin ko senye sa journalists be fair che kokoya you should what person BBC ya you don't even prompt the politician. What you do is that you surreptitiously conduct your behavior, your activity. So by the time o medina public umusa journalists now and the friends the politician is a question now what clear cut and hardcore evidence. 80 na no kopa na oka chose onim and na say we nipa no prison ho no mo na o the video and audio and one evidence start there to mo nye say adwuma no o ko free politician no abusa no nti as a government spokesperson no I was say omo go prison na data go ni team about damn near dinam wi asini mo. You see, sometimes people say, and will be a real way, and will be could be a bunch here. Sometimes, no. And yet, the value of Adiana Wako Riano, and the Shahu, and the Jelly, ye jelly based on the act, chronona wabono, and yet the value. Well, that say, a kuna wakuno, se uku akoda. Se ukun opani se ukun akokora wakun nipa enti nipa kun ho asotwe ne yede ma e na wo bokro no a ho asotwe se stealing yanka se stealing of goods or stealing of money in this analysis I na ye say e na obi ko wi abante e na ama ne 10 years e na obi akọ wi $2 million e na ama ono so 10 years. So unim sadia and the next time in Korea banche unsu ko wiye sika ne bi and yet the act stealing who asem ne ka say the moment you do something that mimic stealing a dance baby say I show chrono bon ho asotwe ne de ma ho enye ade no a wo ko wiya no ho asotwe ne de ma wo chrono no. Okay, the act now, yes, men, you know, sa suban no, chrono suban no, ye punish wo home. And yet, at the end, I will fight, say a door so, and I say, so, ain't you know, me principle, ni say me bon chrono dia, me bon a big because ketwa 1 cedi, kese 1 cedi, o se chin sa be fa ketwa. Ketwa 1 cedi. Kese no 1 cedi. Ketwa no anunsu ede. Kese no anunsu ede. Adenti na akwa fa ketwa. And to what make it argument no. So be a Korea banting there be the court system doesn't judge the products now wafano. Or no judge act no. Chrono, killing, stealing, abetment, and aiding, and no one some nieka. And yet, how you aided or so what we are aiding and abetment, and no one some nieka. we still in the no who asem ne ka into the mo kan ayeye ah Hey, amount for 5 years. The 5-year term, Kufo kan ho asem emre bi no. Here, let me state it unequivocally clear on this platform. If a person has that superior intent and wants to, like ignite the higher instincts in them to help us in terms of the political administration and as a governance, okay, you don't need 10 years, you don't need 5 years. Even if we give you a day, we should feel your impact. 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, no. And to me, fast significant change beyond my bra. Let me state it here. 3 years, 4 years, me say, Obama will be 5 years. Obama no, on your recommendation say, okay, you the 6 years and kebebwa. A nipa o good intent, no. Okay? Why not just or sad yes you be you know 4 years on. Quite tintia. So what dream papa so person the year woman no fee 4 years a door from broso. 4 years. Yes, see, per se, a year at dear pass, yes, see, a year railway line. I'm a not free a libo. Abesia kusi tema. Na efri tema. Akusi paga. Na efri paga back to a libo. Na yes, see, ye jai chrono bo. Ye jai kakabin sem, ye jai kwasesim dia. 4 years a wakra. We live in this modern dispensation. Transporting construction materials, it wouldn't take you like any headache. It will not give you any kind of headache, you know. If indeed you pursue a building chrono, you better build the chrono 4 years, and by 4 years, no, will be a way to go free chrono biano, or see chrono more. But just say, before then, whoever thought, say, currency bet me a drop from 20 cities and 15 cities a could find which are on. But Senate Finance Minister be on your 8 solid years, not a single day, and a dollar suit me and I say pounds suit me and a euro suit me 8 years. Ye panacho say, would you why you be a year, jai, ninkofa or chin chai, or nyaketiana or donny my crossing bibia. Also nyakatia. Yes, oh dear nephew, nyakatia, oh dear nephew, co. I said that. But I told forcing Amia Baby who said you don't need 8 years to make sure say economy are drop. Likewise, as a president, good intent say, baby beer. Me who say Nana Jantua and Accra Express one wine yen to be yen Mahama, I see a bear Accra Express Highway. If indeed say you committee resources at your Gumwa, Accra Kumasi Highway, no. I see a bear within 2 years. I will see a year free home. I will see a year free home. Young go see crying or pumu. Baby a bridge one. How long does it take to do construction? No concrete, Oh yeah, concrete. How long does it take for it to harden? Let's assume say oh the concrete was so stop on crown or the man 2 months. Now say contractors be a base 10 and omugusu no moye no be available. We year free. I had the akusia now we are year free had the akusia within 2 years. machines ebu, excavating machines, rollers. Huh? Any the kika home, asphalting machines. Was saying to me, yeah, you bet to me a yam and abroso. The commitment. Say a committee won't say a bayard now. Why not? And we can say, if not, why not? 5 years no wouldn't solve any problem and it wouldn't change any kind of thing in our life, in our body politics. Omo champions are no. They just want to ride on politics. No, akose baby 5 years. Now the nyado di benya no. And obi kano. It takes just 4 weeks for it to cure. It takes maximum 5 weeks for it to cure. And Marty said, local government minister Ahmed Ibrahim make a comment about Supreme Court judgment say delegate system, you know, yenyi free Ghana, sa primaries na yenimu na or say yes one balance. You see, sometimes you know the fact some what are no a wood trading just be a was some account. Say ena resource na munya mudi tua sika no edema delegate no sa resource na munyusu enyamo na mo se party members etua dues na se party members etua dues na afia so ne ya ba be party leaders are. Why should it be the headache of anyone to go into how to fund more party? This will call for involvement. If the people really want to elect their own leaders, they must contribute. And when the people start to contribute genuinely, will be a what and honor the political accountability now and go to a preaching over the years. No, now so by Jimmy Misika at the running local elections. They elected now the Koye member of parliament. Aya no aba abeka chem se okoje bisie bi obi ho e na obechema aye ansa na ye to abade ama. And because munim se mumu bi mu no se ya abolish sa system no mo a muntumi override on the people man be di omo anim kan ti no eba be ye coalition of some MPs to stand up against the Supreme Court, Diaba, over the dead body of Kwame Nkrumah. And Adiana may change the Supreme Court on family stupid delegate one. If any political party wants to elect its leadership, party members will come. And if you are not ready to contribute to the advancement of your political party, stay neutral. Let people who are ready to contribute. So we NDC near. Oko NDC kona wumu or constituency one say or district one. Na boshime utia udiusa. Say one seed na mochi. Na one seed no yaje na yehu say afina kwa wiye yaje one seed every month biano. This is the said amount. Ye nipa 30. Yaje yeno. This is the total amount I had. You say the tua office na ya hine ka nkonfo mu ya adwuma office won say the tua omo ka de ka ye ni a edane duro ni ekwa akoyi your leaders are. What do? You only have to use the remaining balance, print ballots omo contested proposition omo constituency one. You use the money You print the necessary ballot information be here. Eju bebusa say here for no monko pesika na here for na ya no munye sika omude tuama delegates no. Ekroni nipa adwenya adwuma wo mu. Me ya say you see sometimes when mama ye di ya say ye me ye bibidi. The way I mu bi mu se dwen no. Ana mama ye mu bi di ya o. Unya sika to TV. Unya sika che 10,000 cedis e de ma delegate. After the ye delegate system na fi wono mo a. Say sika na de to TV na fa hin. Last time Mahama say wa masika yem fama delegates ni nyina no monfa nto aduane no monfa nko back to we say ye yi sa de we nyina fi wa. Why should that one be the president's headache? And why should people travel far and why to a particular converging place? Na omonkonko to aba in the process no obi see me the car for sure. Meanwhile, say presidential in year 2. Okay? Presidential in year 2. The way I year 2 aba e wo ba bia no. Na ya ne ato. And it's a digital system na mo be ye na obi abeto no phone so anamo ato. Muso krono bonti no munim so obi be hijack system no. Aye. Look at Baba Jama. What DMP wa akwatia. Ya tuna fi akwatia. Akotena Nima. Nima for se masan akoto aba man say we MP. And so yes ya. Nti sa nipa no ono nko a ne betimi wa DMP wa akwatia wo. Uwie ya wasabi DMP. Nima. Is it not because of delegate system? Na sanki bie mu na Nima for no nyina na eto aba nka afi se nka odo be wini. Ko be sa koni pro makwatia ho. A business na nkofo ne ye. And make the past Supreme Court uphold this kind of decision, no? And it will go a long way of enriching Ghana's politics. We are still nurturing our politics and we're still growing, and we have to grow in wisdom, in grace, in maturity. We shouldn't grow in stupidity. We cannot fester our faith in stupidity. So many anom ye betimi ache ya adwen na ache ya adwen no enti no so fi say asem na nkomo na ya bedi wa no eye ode okay mame fa number we nto no wo pese o che wa adwen 0240258269. I think say ye mass akwan no ache 0240258269. so pese o che wa adwen a wo betimi ache wa adwen e de afa ho ne ahwade. And so person Chewadi at Chewadi 0240258269.
Offenses including improper diversion of funds, unauthorized withdrawal of mass lock funds, money laundering activities, and conspiracy to steal and causing financial loss to the state. Ultimately, the charges were filed in court and she underwent trial. When the trial started, she was in Ghana, and in fact, she was granted bail at some point, but during the pendency of the trial and while she was on bail, she left the jurisdiction to the United States and she did not return. it was construed as having absconded bail, and ultimately the bail amount was forfeited to the state to the tune of about 5 million Ghana cedis. And the trial still did go on because the trial had started while she was in country, and then she had left at some point and she was not back in the country. The trial concluded and she was sentenced to 10 years. I mean, the court agreed in totality or with a certain sense of the charges that had been filed by the state against her. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but she was nowhere to serve a sentence. And that is why the government at the time put in an extradition request to the US asking for Madame Sedinam Tamakloe to be brought back in country to come and serve a term. And then today, we have just heard from the U.S. Embassy that Madame Sedinam Tamakloe has been extradited to the country to begin serving her term. MFA.
What does that mean if the U.S. says that they've completed the extradition process legally? What does that mean? Does she now begin serving her sentence immediately she returns?
Yes. Open so chewa bia Mr. Number nam dia number sien na nam ho 0240258269. Wait me at chewa bi ena eda ho no WhatsApp line na etwagu no. Inti yiro ho nefa WhatsApp number 0240258269. Friend, let's share wide ring. Open so share wide ring kwandia. And then I think say me be too much. Open so share wide ring just free. That was our line, so let's share wide ring. Share. Tale, mama yenye ya adwemu na ho. Na mo anhwe ni ya. Me say NPP political party no. E kwan a omode mo be fa so no. And omema mo refi gains na yenya within 2 years a ye komu no. Cause omo agenda, omo no de nam asase we so. Enye ye ne ye no bi foforo na ye dia. Yen kan nwanum. Number no etwagu ase ho no. I also a WhatsApp call, a friend direct call, Mr. Omin to me a day. Empha ain't no WhatsApp call. Say WhatsApp they are fine. So one friend WhatsApp, na say Tremua, Mr. Ofrem, so there we program no. Now we share later, men friend. Into Mr. Who share program later. Make sure say I indicate to a program no and I say screen is say live. Say live ni free so now about frame me na it's all about disturb me private time. Into no say in fact this is the time open so free. This is the opportune time for you to call. And who are what here now we did know this is the time for you to come. Now your kanwa o ye credible no. This is the time bra never che wadwen. Obi o ha oyehufo omo camera chi na a friend say phone chi comment section and all type nsem hunu obe type nsem hunu o man opportunity say o meche na adwen so dia ontumi obi o ha ye so camera sim so 2 minutes na no kra be fonfom ana mu fi say simple sa ona aya na money na ho. All right, see no. So be am to I think say we'll call it the day. The next time for be a friend and I say that for be a better opportunity no. Yeah, the ipso facto day ever bro into your cramo. Me that room at the enemy. And that room at the enemy no. What you say? Hey, Tiwa also want to say no. Obe to me ako na odi Sedinam Tamakloe akwa shame no way chema won to me. But a footwa me de ma NDC 4 and then they say a bino NPP for no ankasa te parliament. Any omunko for wukunu nyina hu say mo ba ye no watimi aye de na Ghana for expecting po na say mo antimi am protect him against Namuma enkwasiafo ye dede. If you allow them to continue to, so to speak, vociferate. Na dede no eye dede sa eye hwe o Ghana fo na sumu a eye mo enioma na ebesei na asa besei Ghana in general. Yakraw.
Hello, sentence.
This morning, all prepare to host the Attorney General Jubilee House media briefing. No, the Court of Appeal delivered a judgment on Sedinam Tamakloe. Mejini said Ote and Sana most starting a press conference. No, when news broke, no, how did you receive it? Net was I what is court no acquitted discharged no.
The position of government on Asem was expressed by the Attorney General in court. Indeed, many of the responses now have been misdirected. You know what? You see,